Welcome inside Reynolds Gymnasium here tonight for ACC volleyball. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons, their home opener here in Winston-Salem, hosting the North Carolina A&T Aggies, one of the top squads in the Big South Conference. Both these teams enter this matchup on big-time winning streaks. Alongside Everett Hutto, Evan Budrovich getting you ready for first serve here in Winston-Salem. And Everett, these squads come in with a lot of confidence. How can these teams prepare for conference play here tonight?
Well, for Wake Forest, it's ramping up for ACC play. They want to do the little things really well and sort of take care of themselves. For North Carolina A&T, they're looking at where they want to go. They know that the level of play in the Big South is going to be higher than it was in the MEAC, and so they want to play better competition leading into it.
We focus on the senior six rotation player, Edie Brewer. Look at those numbers, two-time MEAC Player of the Year. How does she help her squad tonight?
In every way. She's a stat stuffer. She's going to play all the way around. She's going to get assists, kills, blocks, digs. She's a triple-double waiting to happen, so she's a main player for them.
Wake Forest is led by the redshirt senior setter, Andrea Fuentes out of Missouri, 11.5 assists per set. She's been a do-it-all player for this program.
She absolutely has. She leads the ACC in assists per set, but even more important to that, it's the stuff she does that stats can't measure that Coach Smart is so excited about.
Randy Smart and Hal Clifton leading these squads tonight. Their first ever matchup as coaches for both these schools. And there's Hal in his ninth year, earned his 94th win earlier this week as his club's off to their best start in 10 years.
Yeah, you can't look at that record. They've improved so much the last 3 years. They've played for the MEAC championship the last 3 seasons. They've improved so much in a short amount of time. Randy
Smart off to a fantastic start, 4 straight wins, and here she is now, maybe her best program here at Wake.
Yeah, this Wake Forest team is really starting to build. They're passing the ball better. They're serving tougher. They're really putting pressure on their opponents, and that's really the key for Wake Forest tonight. Strong serve and good serve receive.
Our lead referee, Stephen Shepard, gets his set to go. And the player to watch, Andrea Fuentes, here to serve. A&T will have to hit out of system on their opening rotation.
That's what we mean by strong serving. It gets A&T out of position, therefore Wake can run the middle, and that's an easy point. That's how important the serving is.
Olivia Frankie, the sophomore out of McLean, Virginia, her first kill of the night. This is a Wake Forest team that's won 12 of their last 13 sets. Very impressive in a tournament up at App State over the weekend. Remember, it was all conference play last spring. Wake Forest just one victory, but such an impressive turnaround in non-conference play. Coach Smart even mentioned this year is there's an impressive kill on the backside. Quick 2-0 start for Wake Forest. About how much she values this non-conference to get her team's confidence up.
It's all about the ramp-up. Like you mentioned last year as we see the swing from Slater. That's just a great arm swing. You saw the hole in the block, and she crushed through it. But, yeah, for Wake Forest, last year they started the season with Louisville right off the bat, a top 15 team. They had to play Georgia Tech right off the bat, a top 20 team. It was difficult from the beginning, and they never really got to settle in. Also, you have to remember last year they didn't have a preseason. So they had so many young kids who didn't get a preseason, any kind of ramp up. Now they get that ramp up to conference play.
Randy Smart said this year it's all about teaching her students to be students of the game. And they've certainly picked it up through 9 or 10 matches. Is Fuentes with her second ace of the first set.
Yeah, back-to-back aces for Fuentes, and she's the one. You talk about being a student of the game. Andrea Fuentes, just a terrific player from Puerto Rico, played at Missouri, all SEC at Missouri. She comes in and immediately sets a different tone for this team.
She finished her career top 5 in career assists at Missouri, and she gives that away with her opening service error.
You'll take 4 points and only give 1 away. You're +3. That's a good start for Wake Forest.
This Wake Forest team, they average more assists than serving errors in their matchups. Here's Edie Brewer. Fuentes now comes to the front row to set. Nicely dug out in the back row, but it does end up in a point for Wake.
Yeah, Brewer needed to take one more step in. She was bent over, and so that pass was flat to the net. As we watch it, watch the dig here. See how she's bent over? If she takes one more step forward, that ball pops up higher, and the libero can get to it.
Excellent effort by Andrea Leboy Rivera, the senior libero for this A&T club. Another service error for Wake, and it's 5-2 early on in this first set.
Coaches never like back-to-back service errors. You can live with one, but you don't really like to see them come back-to-back. But a quick side out, and all will be forgiven.
First matchup in almost a decade for these two. 2008, the last time these teams met. Wake has dominated the series, 12-2 all time. Fuentes goes middle. That's high hands, and that ball is in the corner. Nice touch from Frankie.
Frankie is bigger at 6'4" than the two North Carolina A&T middles at 6 foot each. But now that she goes out, Delaney McSweeney will come in, who's going to tower over Frankie at 6'7". So you go from 6'4" to 6'7" in the middle.
A&T plays in system, and that misses long on the swing attempt from Fatima Shabazz, getting the start on the outside, the redshirt senior out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
She had a good weekend. She had a season-high 11 kills in their first match against NC Central.
And a timeout called by NCAT. We'll take the break as well. Wake Forest leads by 5 in this first set on ACC Network Action.
The Avengers weren't my first family.
What brings you home?
We have unfinished business.
It still fits.
We fight with you.
Let's go.
Add Black Widow to your Marvel Studios movie collection.
Today's pros need today's tools, and nobody understands that better than the Home Depot. Our online project calculators cut guesswork and extra trips. Job site delivery frees you up to focus on the task at hand. And if you don't want to buy equipment, you can rent it. That's how today's pros get more done. New tech, new tools, old-fashioned hard work. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The Wake Forest cheerleading squad in attendance tonight here at Reynolds Gymnasium. The home opener for Wake Forest, off to a 7-2 start, and they're hitting 800 in this opening set.
Yeah, you can't ask for a much better start. 4 kills off of 5 swings. Meanwhile, A&T does not have a kill and an error on 1 swing. The only thing Wake Forest is doing is serving out, and that's the only way A&T has scored so far.
Kalani Willock with the service error that time. All 3 points for the Aggies tonight via the service line. North Con A&T 2-1 over the weekend in Kentucky. 5-3. It's their best start in a decade. There's the back set, dug out cross court by Brewer. Now overhands. Naya Sautel is dug. And soft touch at the net, falls to the floor. And an early point for Peyton Seuss.
Yeah, Seuss is an interesting story. She came in as a freshman and had to lead the Demon Deacons in attacking. Now, in her 3rd year here, she doesn't have to be that leader anymore. She still can be, but she doesn't have to be, and that takes a lot of pressure off of her.
Coach Randy Smart mentioning how Seuss can now play all 6 rotations and be a threat as that ball touches the floor. An early kill for NCAT. That's an impressive swing from Mallory Porcher, the junior out of Orlando, Florida.
Porcher had a really good weekend last weekend with a .308 attack percentage and 10 blocks against Mercer and NC Central. Mentioned that A&T has won their last 2 matches.
Porcher, in fact, 26th in the country in hit percentage. Very effective in the middle. As Fuentes teased up a bit outside. Brewer in system. Nearly finds the floor. Great scoop by Seuss. The Aggies in system. That shot is kept alive. Daly gets it up. McSweeney's dug out. And at 6'7", McSweeney certainly attracts attention in the middle. That pass is deflected the net. And a roof. Cameron Malloy with the block.
First block from Malloy and McSweeney. You mentioned McSweeney. She's so long. She actually touched that ball in transition when she probably shouldn't have. But here, Malloy does a good job. Actually, that's a block solo. She was the only one there.
That's slowing down Edie Brewer, who has 800 kills and 2,000 assists in her career. A do-it-all senior for the Aggies. Working to Brewer again. That one nearly sneaks through. And a joust at the net is kept alive. Warfield, great dump set. A&T runs a 6-2, and Addie Warfield, the junior out of Winter Springs, Florida, a big part of it.
Yeah, so you can't jump to the level of the net, but as long as you stay under the net, you can take that two-handed set over. You see, she doesn't jump very high, and McSweeney wasn't expecting it because she knew she had a back row setter.
Now in system, the overpass is demolished at the net. Hannah Howell with a kill.
Serving and passing. Again, strong serve by A&T. You get an overpass, and those are free points.
That's a 3-0 run for Howell, who had 11 digs in her last match against Mercer. Big tournament victory for the Aggies. As there's a service error, getting Wake Forest to 10 points first.
Service errors have been big so far. Wake has missed 3, A&T 1. And you hate to kind of end that run for A&T off of a missed serve. So they were in a good rotation.
Home opener for the Demon Deacons tonight. Started the year 7-2 on the road with neutral site matchups. Warfield pushes outside. Howell off hands, and that finds the floor, her second kill.
It's a good job using the outside hand of the outside blocker. When you're smaller than the block, typically you need to get a little bit creative. And using the block as a tool helps a lot.
That's what Hal Clifton, head coach of North Carolina A&T, told us coming in. This is a measuring stick matchup for his club. That service error gives it back to Wake.
I think too many service errors for both coaches in the first 18 points, but they'll clean that up.
Hal Clifton, in his 9th year, led this program to the NCAA tournament and a second-round berth.
Second-round berth without winning a first-round game. They got the COVID bye when Rice couldn't play.
How about that swing? Down the pipe. Great back row attack. Naya Sautel.
Back row swing. Right down the pipe, as you mentioned. Came all the way back from the baseline.
And beating a tall middle blocker, Olivia Frankie, at 6'4". Fuentes in system has to joust to the net. We have a reach over for A&T.
She definitely took the set away. They're asking, again, the rule is if the ball is in any part of the plane of the net, you're allowed to touch it. But that looked like it was pretty obviously on the Wake Forest side. She took that set away.
That's Shaylin Hall, the senior from Raleigh, North Carolina, playing the net. So Ashley Slater, the sophomore to Grand Haven, Michigan, to serve. Brewer goes to her near side. That's blocked at the net, a double tandem, and Wake Forest leads by 5.
You talk about the big block of Slater at 6'4". She was able to hang a little bit. She stayed in the air a little bit longer than they had expected her to, even though it's still Malloy that got most of that block.
Third team block for Wake Forest in this set. Trouble on the serve receive here for A&T. It does not matter. Good kill on the backside for the Aggies. And now all of a sudden, it's a 4-point difference.
Yeah, it's that 4-0 run that started the set for Wake Forest, and since then, it's been 9-9. They've just been sort of going back and forth.
North Carolina A&T with matchups with Clemson and Virginia this year. Not afraid of the ACC. Fuentes on the back set. That tools the block and a kill for Seuss.
Seuss, 2 quick kills in the match. Wake Forest trying to establish that right side attack.
Had a libero in to serve.
Kalani Willock, a freshman out of Keller, Texas, part of a very young roster here for Wake Forest. 5 freshmen on the squad. That's through the hands and down. Naya Sautel with her second kill.
That's one McSweeney's going to want back. She needed to press a little bit more over the net. But a good swing by A&T.
Sautel, the reigning Big South Freshman of the Week. North Carolina A&T's first year in the conference after winning the MEAC title last season. Fuentes, a difficult set, and it is demolished by Seuss.
Seuss having a good start to this match. 3 kills already, leading the team on 5 swings, already hitting 400. And they are really establishing her on that right side.
Peyton Seuss, a career high of 13 kills. She's getting very close, already 3 in this first set. It's a low float serve. Brewer on the jump. The ball nearly finds the floor. Fuentes goes outside. And a net violation on A&T. Point Wake Forest, and the kill there for Cameron Malloy.
Malloy had a nice arm swing there. Take another look. Gets out. There's a hole in the block. Actually, that went through the hands of Porcher.
We do have a timeout called. Second timeout for A&T in this set. An Aggies club that finished 11-2 in the spring, undefeated in the conference, and earned that NCAA berth. They start Big South Conference play this weekend. And certainly when you look at Wake Forest as well, a club that wants to fix its mark in the ACC. This is very early, of course. Conference play begins this next weekend coming up. And with top 10 opponents, Louisville and Pitt, this is a strong league in the ACC this year.
Yeah, Louisville and Pitt are definitely the class of the league. North Carolina off to a great start at 8-0. You got Georgia Tech in there at number 18. Those three ranked teams all made the tournament last year, all played very well. But right now, a little bit surprising to see Notre Dame hanging out at 3-5. Virginia's already got 4 wins on the year. Virginia, remember, they had to stop playing in the spring with a coaching issue, and so they actually forfeited their last handful of games, which is why Wake Forest actually had more conference wins than they had actual wins last year. But Wake Forest at 7-2. There's a lot of room for Wake Forest to get better and to continue to move up these standings.
That litmus test comes up soon. Georgia Tech here on the 24th of September, and Clemson right in the middle of the pack, following up the weekend for Randy Smart in year 3. LSU grad of 98 has built this program over the last 2 years, and she mentioned in our conversation coming in, she wants a team that has 4 to 5 key hitters developing an offense, and that's starting to show out tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. She doesn't want one player to be the dominant player as there's a service ace. She doesn't want it to be one player doing everything. She wants to have, like you said, 4 or 5. So Seuss, Frankie, Slater, maybe McSweeney. You know, however it's going to happen, she wants the balance of the attack.
Brewer tries to stop this 3-0 run, and that swing is long on the backside. So Wake Forest, its largest lead of the first set at 8.
Yeah, remember, was just a 4-point lead a few minutes ago. The serving aggressively by Seuss has been able to push this lead up.
That's one area that this coaching staff for Wake Forest develops. They want serving to be a weapon for this offense, as the error committed there by Seuss.
And they're doing a good job. They lead the ACC with 60 aces so far. Now they've got a couple more in this match. And you see the 1.94 aces per set leading the ACC. That's really what you've got to do. You've got to serve aggressively. Now, you're going to make errors. Because you're aggressive, you're going to make some errors.
Here's McSweeney on the slide on the backside. That ball rolls over the net and bounces out. Point Wake Forest. To wrap up your point, that is now ranking 30th in the country in total service aces for Wake Forest. That's been a weapon for the Deacons tonight.
And it was something they didn't have a year ago. The serve a year ago was, I don't want to miss it, I just want to get it in. And so there were a lot more errors than there were aces. And right now that
even that serve by Malloy was deadly.
And that's what you get. Get them out of system. Make them give you a free ball.
And the soft touch
run your offense.
is killed by Ashley Slater. She gets on the board with her second kill.
Watch here, a free ball across, and then Slater just a little tip to the middle.
A quiet 10 assists for Fuentes in this first set. She's been doing it all season long. As that slide results in a kill, Mallory Porcher with her first.
I'm surprised that that's just the first kill for Porcher this deep into the set. She's one of their big attackers at 6 foot junior.
She was on the All-MEAC rookie team in 19, part of the all-conference team in the spring as well. There's a back row touch, almost found the floor. Good dig by the libero. Wake insistent. Fuentes pushes wide. That shot is out to the near line from Slater, and A&T is back within 7.
Yeah, and you saw the back row swing by Seuss. That's one of the things Coach Smart talked about is getting her to get some more back row swings, become more of a factor out of the back row.
There's a service error for the Aggies. 7 combined errors in this opening set. It is the home opener for these squads for Wake Forest tonight, getting reacclimated to Reynolds Gymnasium after a season in the spring and Joel Coliseum.
Yeah, exactly. They haven't played in this building in 2 years. They practiced here. I mean, let's be honest. They do practice, so they have played. But they haven't played a match since 2019.
And under the lights of ACC Network Extra tonight, always a little extra pressure as that error gives it back to the Aggies.
We'll take a look at Reynolds Gym. Newly renovated as of 2018.
And very well lit for volleyball fans at home. Very easy to see who's who. First 100 students got some free t-shirts tonight, so plenty of incentive for the students to come out here at Wake Forest. Now Mallory Porcher to serve for A&T. Gave the libero Willock some trouble. And Slater doesn't care. That touches the floor. Ashley Slater with 4 kills.
And Wake Forest just keeping on. They're hitting over 500 this set, now at 579. That's a tremendous percentage for one set.
Wake enters this matchup hitting 275 as a team. Limiting opponents to just a 160 hit percentage. Here's Fuentes on the serve. That should have been a lift there. Play continues. And a near block at the net. A second attempt is denied. Seuss got her hands all over it.
Yeah, that's a good block by Seuss and Frankie. They didn't get it the first time, even though Frankie was right there. That's good coverage. Then she closes, and Seuss is all over it.
A one-hand swat gives Wake Forest now 4 total blocks in this set. There's a service error, giving it right back to A&T.
I mean, there have been a lot of service errors, but there have been a lot of aces as well. And so as long as you're around that 1-to-1 mark, coaches aren't going to get too upset. It means they're serving it tough, and they've really done a good job of getting A&T out of its offense.
That ball's dug up by Brewer. Now a chance here for Howell, who misses long, and set point for the Demon Deacons. A&T, meanwhile, hitting just 143 in this first set. They've benefited from 6 Wake Forest service errors. And the Deacons now serve for the set. Here's Ashley Slater on the float. Nearly an ace. Chance here for Mackenzie Richards. That is down on the back line, and the set continues.
Yeah, that middle back gave up on that one a little early, I think. But it had good top spin and was in by a good margin.
So now it flips the court to Hannah Howell, the freshman from St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Looking to extend this set for the Aggies. Fuentes goes near side.
Yeah,
Net violation on Seuss.
Yeah, she was trying to tiptoe around it, but that set took her into the net a little bit. And on her tip, she just momentum carried her in.
Wake Forest searching for its 5th straight win. They lead early in this first set. And an ace continues set 1. 3 straight points for the Aggies.
And it's good for North Carolina A&T to build some confidence, get some serves, get a block here and there, get some points on their own, because Wake Forest has dominated this set.
That's a deep serve to Willock. Roll shot scooped out. Now Brewer goes middle. Chance to swing for the set here for Malloy, and it's denied at the net. A&T with the size of Shy Hall.
Yeah, it's a good job of blocking. She's off the court. She can only hit this ball angle. So you see the block comes in a little bit. There's no line to block. It's impossible to hit that ball line. It has to be an angle shot. So the block takes a step in towards the court, takes away that angle. It's a pretty easy block.
Shaylin Hall, the Raleigh native, playing strong in this first set. 5 straight elimination points for the Aggies to extend set 1. Now insistent. Brewer checks her options, goes backside. Good dig on the back row. Played over to Hall, who wins the joust. Slater on a tight angle is dug up. Now Brewer goes near side. And another strong-handed play. Slater finishes off set 1. She's been the story for Wake Forest. 5 kills in this first set. She puts away the first one, 25-19. Wake Forest hits 417 in the first set. 5 players with a kill as Ashley Slater takes it over. Wake Forest leads 25-19 through set 1. Welcome back inside Reynolds Gymnasium. The home opener for Wake Forest tonight as they take set one, 25-19 over North Carolina A&T. This is a Demon Deacons club that has now won 13 of its last 14 sets. And Everett in set one, assertive hit percentage of .417.
Yeah, if you're hitting .417 inside and out 73% of the time, you're going to win the set. There's no other way around it. Even with a few more service errors than you would have liked, you mentioned that those 6 kind of kept A&T in the match, or in the set rather. But .417 to .111, that's just such a big difference. And then again, the side out percentage, 73%. That means 3 out of every 4 balls, you're killing and getting a point right back after you gave it up.
Ashley Slater leads the charge with 4 kills in the first set for Wake. 3 kills for Hannah Howell of North Carolina A&T. These clubs have not met since 2008, and early on it was back and forth with some service mistakes and then a much cleaner end to that first set.
Yeah, and it's the serving from Wake Forest that really forced A&T out of rotation or out of system, and the shots coming back over the net were pretty easy to take care of. And then, you know, A&T did get 4 or 5 points in a row there at the end to make the score a little bit nicer, but at that point it was already well in hand for Wake Forest. So right now for Coach Smart, she wants to forget about the score. She doesn't want those runs just because you're up big. Forget about the score. Play to win every point.
Here's Edie Brewer to start the second set on serve. She's been a weapon at that line, 6th in the country in aces. Now a back row attack is uncorked to Brewer, who digs it out. Rivera on the bump set to Howell, and another great defensive play, Willock.
That's a double contact on Frankie.
Double touch there at the front of the net.
She went to block it, and it rolled off her fingers, and then she reached and touched it again. She just didn't get a solid contact on that first block.
So North Carolina A&T with its first lead of this match here in set 2. Fuentes goes on the slide and finds Frankie.
She made a good connection on that one, I would say. Much better. And that's what you like to see. You like it when a setter, a player makes a mistake, has a double hit, come right back to her, let her get her confidence, and that's just a pretty swing by Frankie.
And no time for Shea Hall in the middle to even get her hands on it. An easy touch to the floor. How about Fuentes? 12 assists in this first set. Now she has 3,245 in her career.
Yeah, the thing about setters is that, like, we haven't hardly called her name. We talked about her in the open. That's a nice, it just must have been out. We talked about her in the open and what she does to lead the team, but it's things like that with Frankie. It's not a stat, you know, but she had made a mistake. She got her right back into it and made a good play. That's not a stat, but it's something that she does that makes the team better. And Fuentes just makes the team better by not really being noticed.
Andy Smart raved about her all-conference setter, first-year transfer out of Missouri. The service there does give it back to A&T. So 7 mistakes if you're keeping tabs at home, something that Randy Smart will definitely watch on film tomorrow. Here's Howell on the float serve. Fuentes has to bump set from the back row and tees it up for Slater.
It's a big swing by Ashley Slater. Made no mistake with it. Let's see where the block is here. Block passed. So it's hard to, I wish I had a telestrator I could make circles and arrows, but the outside blocker went past her. So the middle blocker had to go with her, and that left the angle open. The outside blocker's got to be on her attacking shoulder and allow the middle to close.
And that cross-court swing results in a kill. We have a jump ball called here. The point is going to be redoed.
Replay.
You see Coach Hal Clifton in his 9th year. He was a former trainer right up the road here at App State, working with the women's staff, and also played on the club team for the Mountaineers. There's an ace for the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, I actually had to look at his graduation year because I was on the club team at Winthrop. We played against each other. We were in school at the same time. We played Appalachian State in club.
What website could I find the live stream or the stats of that?
You don't understand. The internet was 2 years old. they didn't have a live stream back then. We had Flash Media Player.
Certainly things have changed in the last decade. You see Hal there, who...
We have the same hairline, though.
Well, his club is really growing, too. They've made it to the NIVC 2 years ago, qualified for the NCAA in the spring.
They absolutely have. And like I said, his record is not good over the overall length of it, but the last 3 years they have competed for NEAC championships. They went to the volleyball version of the NIT the first year, lost to Troy. Last year they won the MEAC, played in the NCAA tournament, got a win, kind of, advanced anyway. Played Penn State in the NCAA tournament. I mean, Penn State's one of the great volleyball powers in the ring, and there you see the 11-2, 16-15.
The larger point, 21-1 in conference in those last 3 years.
Yep, that's exactly right. And that's why this step up in competition is so important, because now they're not in the MEAC anymore. They're in the Big South. Now they've got to face Winthrop. They've got to face Campbell. They've got to face High Point. They've got to face some pretty good teams in the Big South who are better than the teams that they were playing in the MEAC.
A&T voted 5th in the preseason poll, which is a way for coaches to have their voices heard. There's a service error. It's now 9 for Wake Forest in this matchup, along with 4 aces.
Yeah. Wake Forest had a problem with service errors last year. I thought they had cleaned it up in the preseason a little bit. But again, all service errors are not created equal. It's how are you getting them? Are you getting aces to go along with them? If you're getting aces, errors are okay. There's McSweeney.
Oh, my goodness. There is a net violation.
She was in the net, I think.
They're calling it on Fuentes there.
So Fuentes must have just bumped the net on that set. But you see McSweeney, that's a huge swing.
You got to put it up pretty high to find the 6'7" Delaney McSweeney out of Center Point, Iowa. Good deep serve from the Aggies. They try it again.
She goes right back
dug
to
up
her.
perfectly. Bump set from Warfield. Really touches the top of the building here in Reynolds Gymnasium, and it's freed over by Fuentes. Warfield in system. Through the hands of the block. That's Sautel.
Yeah, Sautel was calling for that one. She went out, she started clapping, wanting that set. Watch her on the right side. See her clapping? She wants that ball. She knows she's one-on-one. McSweeney is late getting over. She wanted that ball so bad, she knew she was going to kill it.
Third kill for Sautel, who beats Seuss at the net. That's a back set, denied by Sautel. Touch to the corner, scooped up by Howell. Now insisting that ball is out to the far line, and the miss for Mallory Porcher.
And that's just an unfortunate miss. The spot was right. She saw the floor. She just pushed it too far.
North Carolina A&T at 5-3 coming in, their best start in 5 years. Wake Forest at 7-2, best start into Randy Smart in her 3rd season. There's a long set out to Brewer, who can do everything at the net. I think she got hands.
She wanted to touch.
Oh no hands at the net. So point Wake Forest.
She was asking for it.
And the reaction tells the story.
It'll be interesting to see if they review that. We might get a challenge here, because she definitely wanted, she thought she had hands. This is a great angle we should be able to see.
Might have just knuckled off her fingers there.
It's hard to tell. I don't know that there's a conclusive look, because I think that was a good look at it, and definitely they are challenging this. But it's so hard to see a touch. When you almost have to look for a trajectory change in the ball.
The ball does sort of turn to the right a smidge. That might have been how it came off Brewer's hands here.
Yeah, I mean, she obviously thought it was a touch right away. We're going to get another look.
It would have had to touch Fuentes if it did. And
the back official called to touch as well. He saw it, something. This is really the view.
That left hand of Fuentes might have gotten a tip there.
I don't know how it missed her hands, to be honest with you. I can't tell you conclusively that she touched it.
Especially for a setter who has her hands over everything on the court.
I can't tell you conclusively that she touched it, but I don't know how she could have missed it.
That's what makes challenges a unique aspect of this game. You have 3 to use. Might as well put them to use early.
Well, and the thing here, too, is it conclusive? No, it is not conclusive. I can't tell you definitively if she touched it or not. But is the goal to get it 75% or 50%? What is the goal of the challenge?
And the call is overturned. Point A&T.
So they did say she touched it. It looked like she did.
This is your best angle right here.
It really is.
A little zoom in on the go. Great work by the crew. Yep. And Brewer was calling for it from the start. So it's 8-7 here in set 2 after Wake Forest took the first set 25-19.
And I think the other thing that helped was that the linesman on the A&T side had called it a touch.
McSweeney on the slide is dug out by LeBoy Rivera. That goes off net. It almost finds the floor. Seuss takes her shot from the back row. There's the DS libero swinging Morgan Allen. Malloy off hands, and there's a point for Wake Forest.
That was a much needed point. Things were turning a little bit in A&T's favor, especially after the challenge. So that's a big point for Wake Forest, and now they need to try and get something from the service line here.
Here's Cameron Malloy, the Indiana transfer, has 2 years of eligibility left for this Wake Forest program.
Yeah, that's the really nice thing for both Fuentes and Malloy is they have 2 years instead of the normal 1 year.
Hannah Howell has caused some trouble at the net for Wake Forest, and that ball goes right into it on the swing from Slater.
That wasn't a good swing from Slater. That ball was set too low. She needed to just play that, play it into the court and keep the rally going. She wasn't going to get a kill off that swing.
Slater hitting .364 with a match-high 6 kills tonight. Courtney Pitt on the float serve, and that results in an ace for A&T. That's Mallory Porcher stepping up.
And A&T gaining some confidence. Wake Forest is only hitting .067 in this set after hitting .417 in the first set. So A&T serving a little bit more aggressively, and they're forcing Wake Forest into some mistakes.
Porcher's serve causes Willock some trouble. Slater into hands and denied at the net.
Yeah, that block was all over her.
Shea Hall. Check out the Raleigh native right here.
This has no chance.
Shea Hall, preseason All-Big South entering the year. Fourth-year senior. Porcher again to serve. This is a 3-0 run for A&T. That is in. No, it goes out, in fact, on the far line. Had line judges with different rulings there, but it does end up a point for A&T.
Slater's made mistakes on her last 2 swings. Let's see. Fuentes has liked to go back to the player that made a mistake. Let's see if she goes away from her here.
Fuentes pushes middle. Seuss had to stay behind the 10-foot line. So point A&T.
And that set was over Seuss's head. That set needed to be brought down just a little bit. And Coach Smart's going to call a timeout here.
North Carolina A&T on a 4-0 run to take the lead here in set 2 on ACC Network Extra.
So now hitting 0 this set.
No, I'm glad you pointed that out. Fresh off winning a MEAC conference title, North Carolina A&T heads to the Big South Conference. An impressive start offensively for Coach Hal Clifton's club.
Yeah, it's really the blocking. The blocking at 2.29 per set is really good. The kills per set at almost 12 a set is really good. Holding opponents to 153 is really good, and that's what's happening here in this second set is that Wake Forest is hitting a negative percentage after hitting over 400 in the first set.
That goes off hands on the swing from Howell. Slater down the line and through the middle. 7 kills for Ashley Slater.
She needed that. She had made an error on her last 3 swings. She needed to feel the ball hit the floor and get a little bit of confidence going.
Ashley Slater this past weekend averaged 8 kills a matchup up in Boone. She's hitting nearly 400 in the first set. Has quieted a bit as this Wake Forest team stops a 4-0 A&T run.
And Slater's got the potential to have really big matches. That win last year against Duke was 5 sets, but she had 23 kills and 11 digs in that match. So she's got it in her to take over a match.
There's Warfield teeing it up, and the roll shot scooped up by Seuss. Slater, cross court off hands, great dig. And Brewer with a creative set. That tools the block as Hannah Howell has heated up. 4 kills for A&T.
She's been a nice surprise for the Aggies in this match. Fuentes reaching a little bit.
This is a North Carolina A&T club, top 30 in the country in blocking at the net. They've caused some trouble in this second set. Brewer on the float serve. Fuentes goes back set to Frankie on the slide. That touches antenna.
That's a good swing by Frankie. Off the block into the antenna.
Olivia Frankie, the sophomore who had a career high of 11 kills in the spring against Boston College. She now is second on this club with 4 tonight.
She had 9 of them against Bellarmine last weekend, so she's starting to find her rhythm.
That's an in-system swing for the Aggies, scooped up by Fuentes. And Seuss goes off hands for the point. The 6 rotation player now has 4 kills herself.
Seuss is having a nice night on the right side. I've seen her swing out of the back row a couple of times. She mentioned plays all the way around.
And that's something that Randy Smart wants to see out of Seuss. With a roster that's not as deep as many in the ACC conference, having players that can play both rotations are huge. As that roll shot finds the floor, that's Mackenzie Richards with a kill.
That's not a ball that I think should have found the floor, but Willock was just a little bit off in her read here. She backs up. Yeah, she took a step towards the court. I'm not sure why she moved towards the middle of the court there.
In-system kill for Seuss, who now has points from the right side, the opposite, and the middle.
No, right, exactly. I was about to say the same thing. She ran a little too in the middle there. You don't usually see her hit out of the middle. But that's a new little wrinkle to the offense.
Following in her mom's footsteps, Sloan, who played basketball at Notre Dame. Very athletic, all over the court for Wake Forest. However, it's A&T up 1 in this second set. Willock on the bump set. That's a tough swing from the back row, and it results in a point, despite the effort of A&T trying to save it.
It's a great swing from the back row. Didn't look like there was much of a jump there. Looked like she was practically flat-footed.
So now Ashley Slater in to serve. The all-freshman performer last season. Leads this club with 7 kills tonight. Brewer in system, dumps it over, and that's a beautiful touch from the senior.
Each of A&T setters have used that two-handed set over the net.
It's so subtle as well.
Well, it has to be, because if it's not, it's going to get picked up very easily. So you've got to hold, 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 make it look like you're setting it for as long as you can, and then just turn your shoulders.
Brewer is 3rd in A&T history in assists, behind Brendan Chapman, who graduated in 2007. Now she adds a kill to her totals as well.
You don't see too many people 3rd in assists and working on 8th in kills.
In program history as well.
That's an amazing stat.
Wake Forest able to stop the run here with the kill. Seuss has been busy in the second set.
And again, it's Seuss out of the middle.
So knotted at 15. Wake Forest won set 1, 25-19. First matchup since 2008 for these programs as they gear up for conference play next week. That's a point for Wake Forest. Busy match as well for Cameron Malloy. One area that, sorry, Everett.
Say 5 kills for Malloy. She's now hitting 600. Attack percentage-wise, she's leading the team.
Hitting 444 early in this match as Brewer has to creatively touch it. Now Fuentes in system, feeds McSweeney.
McSweeney's got to not reach. A&T's in the net, so it all worked out. But you saw as that ball came over, McSweeney reached. You teach your middles, don't reach behind you. Don't ever reach behind you. You got people there to pick that ball up.
Delaney McSweeney at 6'7". Coach Randy Smart would love to see her continue to grow into her body, wants her to work her tail off and get even better. And that's a promising young prospect for Wake Forest.
And she's going to, because she's still fairly young. She's only a redshirt sophomore. She didn't get a spring season 2 years ago. She got her first spring, well, really didn't even get a spring season this year because they were playing in the spring. So she hasn't had that development time that she needs. And that's what will happen. As she learns, she'll learn not to reach. When you're 6'7", you can reach everything. So it's a natural thing to do. But she's going to realize if it's in front of me, go get it. If it's behind me, leave it alone. Get off the net, let the defense pick that up, and let me run my offense again.
Such a weapon in the middle for Randy Smart's program in year 3. One area Randy brought up as well was the lack of full off-season for many of these programs, and credit to Coach Mark Seaver, the strength coach, getting these teams ready from the spring right into the fall.
Well, we think about it. So COVID happened in March of 2020, which means that spring was just starting. You had maybe a week of practice, and then you were done, shut down for, 6 months. Then last year, 2021, you were playing in the spring. So that's 2 years of development that hasn't happened for these players. And so if you're a sophomore, that means McSweeney hasn't had a year of development since she's been in college.
And that's 10 freshmen and sophomores on this Wake Forest club. Home opener tonight in Reynolds Gymnasium, along with Everett Hutto, Evan Budrovich here for Wake Forest and NCAT volleyball. First matchup since 2008 for these programs. And now Kalani Willock in to serve. She's had 4 straight matches with double-figure digs. Now on the serve, trying to continue a strong run for the Demon Deacons. Right through the net. Nia Sawtelle with the kill.
Sawtelle's had a couple of big swings tonight. That's her 5th kill.
Nia Sawtelle is also efficient. 41 kills last tournament weekend. And beats McSweeney that time.
Yeah. And that's a ball too. McSweeney had no reason to touch that. But because she's so big, she was able to get a touch on it.
Fuentes pushes to the near side. That is out. And no hands at the net. So A&T is tied at 17.
Yeah, Seuss was swinging for the hands and just missed them.
Here's Addie Warfield, part of that 6-2 rotation for NCAT. She ranks 2nd in the Big South in aces. And if that float serve fell to the floor, we'd have called it a broadcaster jinx. Instead, it's a point for Wake Forest from Peyton Seuss.
Seuss having a nice match, now 7 kills, matching Slater's total.
It's a 4-1 run for Wake Forest to regain the lead.
And this has been a good scoring rotation with Seuss serving, McSweeney, Malloy, and Fuentes in the front row.
Rivera catches the serve. Oh, McSweeney's hands were all over that shot and freed over by A&T. Fuentes insistent, pushes to Malloy. And a net violation again.
That was a good run. McSweeney should almost get half a kill for that, because as the ball went out, she made her run for the quick. You could see the middle, and the A&T was kind of drifting towards McSweeney, and then the ball goes out to Malloy for the kill.
5-1 run has given Wake Forest some breathing room in this second set. A&T, in fact, forced a timeout from Randy Smart midway through set 2. Momentum set here in the home opener for the Demon Deacons as they target LeBoy Rivera on the serve. Sawtelle finds the back line, and A&T's back within 1.
Yeah, that's just a good swing. That's not one she's necessarily trying to get a kill on. She's just trying to keep that in the court, but the Wake Forest back row was pinched in a little bit and didn't get a good read on it.
Coach Hal Clifton learned a lot about Nia Sawtelle in her matchup versus Clemson. 15 kills in that non-conference meet. Fuentes tight on the net. And that ball somehow gets over for Malloy. Did that touch hands at the net? I don't believe so. Point Wake Forest.
You talk about that match against Clemson. A&T didn't win that match, but they were able to get a set. And when you're a MEAC school, and you're getting a set, yeah, that clearly misses the hands. You get a set off an ACC team, that's got to build confidence. Then you get to play Wake, you get to play Virginia, you get to play these teams, and you're like, well, if we can win a set, maybe we can win 2 sets, maybe we can win a match. That's going to help you in Big South play where the teams may not be to that caliber.
That ball stays in on the back line. An impressive kill for Ashley Slater. She now has 8.
She's moving up the kill list. She had that little bit of a funk there at the beginning of the set where she missed 3 in a row, but since then she's really regrouped, found her rhythm, and is now hitting 250 on the match.
Timeout called by North Carolina A&T, searching to extend this second set. There's Hal Clifton, who has, of course, been a player and a trainer growing up. He has built this program for A&T. Him and his staff, it was unique. They actually have coached together since 2002, working at performance camps and clubs leading this matchup. And even his assistant, Blaine, he played for him 15 years ago, coached with his wife, Mary, at Elon for 6 years. There's a unique vibe with his coaching staff.
Yeah, there really is. They've been together for a long time. They understand how each one coaches and what their strengths and weaknesses are. And they obviously get along really well and have a notion. The thing about Coach Clifton is he has been in this area for a long time. You mentioned he went to App State. He coached at Elon. Now he's at A&T. He really knows this area. He knows where to find players and has a great rapport with a lot of the coaches in the area.
That's why he was excited to jump from the MEAC conference to the Big South this year. His club, who feels like they can compete in what will be considered a higher tiered conference at NCAA level.
Yeah, and you mentioned they're picked 5th. That's really interesting because, like I said, there's Winthrop. You know, head coach Chuck Ray does a tremendous job in Rock Hill. They're probably the favorite. They won the league last year. But then you look at a Campbell, a High Point, and some teams like that. Used to be Radford. I'm not sure where they kind of are right now. And then it's A&T. So they're not that far away.
They're also not far away from the heartbeat of this league, based out of the Carolinas.
Oh, absolutely.
Wake Forest in the midst of a 4-match home streak to start off this weekend. Home opener for the Demon Deacons tonight. They try to take a 2-set lead.
That should have been an overcall on the setter, I thought.
Slater did not touch hands. Point North Carolina A&T.
Back row setter, that ball came off her hands and over the net. I feel like that should have been a back row attack. But Wake Forest did a nice job of not letting that bother him. Didn't call it, fine. Go ahead, run your offense, get the kill, get the point anyway.
Randy Smart chatting with her club as the officials confirm a call here.
Well, they might be wondering, so let's watch the setter. She's back row. She cannot make an attack. She definitely jumped above the net. That's got to be a back row attack. But like I said, you keep playing. If there's no call, keep playing. Get the swing. They called that ball out, actually. Yeah. I think that's definitely a back row attack. She jumped above the net. She's a back row setter. The ball went over the net.
Warfield is allowed to set that ball wide. She just can't have it go over the net.
Right, you just can't go over the net.
Exactly. Right. And that's what the officials are checking. And Slater said, wait a second. Number 14 on the white.
So the question is, if they challenge the ruling of touch, can they go back and challenge and say, wait, there may or may not have been a touch, but this is a back row attack?
That's the question for Robert Busey, our side referee, along with Stephen Shepard, our head ref, checking the monitor there. This is a critical swing point as well. Currently it's for A&T. That makes it 19. But a 4-point difference if it goes to Wake Forest might vault them ahead to win set 2.
Right. And I have this theory, and it's sort of a working theory, but when I played, we never wanted to be down by more points than it took to win the set. So if you think about that 21, it would go to 22. That would be 3 points to win the set. You would be down by 3 points, and you don't want to be in that position. Looked like they gave that ball to A&T, so
the call stands.
Which tells me they couldn't go back and review whether it was a back row. They could only challenge
the touch call.
The touch.
Now Mallory Porcher, the junior middle blocker, to serve. North Carolina A&T with 2 aces tonight. They'd love one here. As the overpass is tipped at the net, Fuentes gets her hands up. Brewer, the soft touch, dug by Hollick. And what a rally in set 2. Great dig. Malloy keeps it alive. Slater off hands. Now Warfield in system. Fuentes has her options. Goes middle to McSweeney. And a net violation again on North Carolina A&T. They've had many in this set.
Yeah, that was a good rally by both teams. You mentioned the dig by Malloy was terrific out of the back row for Wake Forest. A&T's just got to stay out of the net, but it's too. You see that big swing by McSweeney, and you know you've got to press. Yeah, but that's a terrific dig by Malloy to keep the rally going.
Hannah Howell thought she had a critical kill. That was great defense. Now Warfield has to go to the back row to bump. Fuentes, back set on a slide.
A little too far. Frankie could hardly reach it.
A little out of system touch for the Aggies, and that ball nearly finds the floor. Fuentes playing point guard.
Yeah, she needed to.
That ball finds the floor.
Yeah, that was a little sloppy on the Wake Forest side because that first slide was too far, and then it was Frankie, you'll see, well, you didn't quite see, but Frankie just kind of stood in the middle. Fuentes couldn't get around her, so Fuentes had to push her to get to the set, and that's what you have to do. If you're a setter and you got to get to the ball, you're perfectly allowed to push your teammate out of the way.
Edie Brewer searching to extend this set. Fuentes a long way to go on that jump set. Finds Seuss. The bump set from LeBoy Rivera. Down line in the kill. Hannah Howell with a busy second set.
That's a nice swing and a good turn down the line.
North Carolina A&T led by Howell tonight. 6 kills, hitting .095.
The attack percentage isn't great, but when she's gotten them, they've been big.
On the slide to Frankie. Now A&T to swing for the tie. The roll shot finds the floor. What a second set for Hannah Howell.
Yeah, she had the big swing on the play before, and then she brings in the little roll shot here, so she's mixing up shots and causing some trouble for the Wake Forest defense.
Timeout, Wake Forest, as this match is even at 22 in the second.
Little roll shot, she held it as long as she could.
And avoids the pancake, my favorite move in volleyball. How about the vibe?
Mine was always the pokey. But the pokey's an outdoor play because you can't open hand tip outside. So you have to close your hand, stick out the knuckle, and then just kind of pop the ball over the net. But I don't know. I'm not a defensive person, so pancakes didn't really work for me. But a good pokey is always going to be a shot of choice.
This is a crucial second set for North Carolina A&T with how momentum works. If they were to drop this set, and imagine Wake could keep that momentum and possibly win this in 3.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because Wake was up, was it 22-18 when we had that controversial play, or 21-18 when we had the play? Because Wake Forest, this is the second set in a row where Wake Forest has had the lead at the end of the set and kind of let it go. You remember in the first set, it was 24-15.
That was a 5-0 run.
And it was a 5-0 run to get back into it. This is sort of the same way, and I think Coach Smart's going to really talk to her team about finishing the set. It's not enough. You can't worry about the score. You got to play every point to win the point. Win every chance you get and really finish each set out.
Randy Smart mentioned 96 times on our call this week. Learn to win, learn to win, learn to win. And that's being tested here in this second set.
And that's exactly it.
Brewer on the float serve. Fuentes has her options. Slater detonates.
That's a great swing out of a timeout. Out of the timeout, when you're a coach, you called that timeout because you're having trouble getting out of this rotation. You're saying, get me out of this rotation. Now, the middle's way late getting over. But Slater, like you said, unloaded on that swing.
9 kills for Slater. That's her 6th match this year with at least 9. Fuentes, a dangerous float serve. Now she can come to the front row, tee it up for Slater. Great defense by Brewer to knock it up. And she plays it over from her knees. Down middle and an easy pipe for Frankie.
Yeah, and that's a good job by Fuentes. She set Slater. Slater was hot. Go back to her. She had just gotten a huge kill. She didn't get it. Good defense by the Aggies, but the Aggies are now out of system. Now it's a one-on-one with the middle. Let me feed my middle. Little cut around the opposing blocker and get the kill, and we're on our way.
Set point here in the second. Ooh, almost found the floor.
That should be it.
Now the bump insistent to the back row Malloy. That is out. A&T stays alive.
Yeah, fortunate for A&T because that set had a lot of spin on it. I understand that we're not supposed to officiate rotation of a ball, but when the ball spins, that means one hand hit it before the other one did.
Double touch is not called and the set continues. Fuentes goes middle.
It's a nice swing.
Seuss is dug out. This is kept alive. And now a risky overpass almost hurts Wake Forest. Slater goes through the hands of Sautel to take set 2.
So the volleyball gods are unkind. Seuss rips one, crushes it. Good defense, plays it up, but then comes back, and then a ball that should have been dug goes through the hands of the defender. Wake takes it.
Welcome back inside Reynolds Gymnasium. Wake Forest digs and fights its way through a second set, leading 2-0 early on in this matchup. The home opener for the Demon Deacons, along with Everett Hutto, Evan Budrovich here breaking it down at the halftime break. And Everett early on in this matchup, Wake Forest led by impressive transfers coming in, and Cameron Malloy super engaged in this offense early with 6 kills.
Yeah, she's had a good match so far. All three of Wake Forest's big hitters, Slater, Seuss, and Malloy, have all been big in this match so far.
Wake Forest getting ready for ACC volleyball play, which reminds us, of course, about the new alliance in collegiate sports to stabilize a volatile environment, bringing these conferences together. And Everett, when you look at the top 10 teams in the country, 7 of those programs reign from these 3 conferences.
Yeah, it's exactly right. This may be a football-driven thing, but it bleeds over into all of the other sports, especially in volleyball. We have the Big Ten and the Pac-12, which are really great volleyball leagues. And then if the ACC can get those games, get that competition, and really grow the game here in the ACC.
It'll be needed from the volleyball standpoint as well. You look at ACC, the Big Ten with Wisconsin, Ohio State, Stanford, USC. Of course, we've seen Louisville and Pitt in those conferences. But leading it for Wake Forest tonight, Cameron Malloy, 6 early kills. She's been busy all over the court.
Yeah, she really has. She's been blocking, she's been digging, she's been attacking. Good swing here through the block. And she's just been an important part of this offense. Finds the hole there. She's got good court vision, seeing where the block is.
And Peyton Seuss, the junior out of Minnesota, 6-role player who's been busy tonight.
And she's been attacking out of 4 of those 6 positions. You saw her on the right side. There you see her in the middle. Here she's going to be in the middle again. She can hit off the left. She's hit out of the back row. She's really been all over the court.
Hannah Howell with 7 kills, 2 digs. She's been impressive as well and setting it up for her offense.
And Howell's been using a variety of shots. It hasn't all been the big swing. It's been the tool off the block. It's been the seam shot. It's been the little roll shot into the middle of the court. she's been using all of her options and has really been the surprise for A&T so far in this set.
Hannah Howell with a season-high in kills through those first 2 sets. Here's your numbers from 2 sets, and Everett early on, it was Wake Forest with a high hit percentage. However, those 9 errors have kept A&T in this match.
Yeah, but it was 6 after the first set, only 3 in the second set, not so bad. They didn't get any service aces in that second set, which I'm sure Coach Smart would have liked. The attack percentage has gone down from 417 to 313, but still 313 for a match for 2 sets is still a good attack percentage. So Wake Forest continues to do what it needs to do. They're getting kills. They're hitting at a high percentage. I would like to see the blocks come up a little bit more if I was Wake Forest.
3 apiece for these 2 programs. There's Hannah Howell, who has now set her season high and career high as a freshman, true freshman out of St. Louis Park, Minnesota.
Yeah, she only had 18 kills coming into the match. She's got 7 tonight. So that's what I meant by a surprise. Only hitting 077 on coming in, hitting 130 tonight. So kind of a coming out party for her. She's showing out against an ACC opponent.
Hal Clifton wanted this matchup to be an eye-opening experience for his club, and they're learning a lot about Howell tonight. Confusion for A&T on its first swing, and an early kill for for Mallory Porcher.
Porcher got blocked on their first attempt. Good coverage, and then they were able to run it back.
My apologies. It actually was Nia Sautel, who's been extremely busy, a freshman from Stuart, Florida. One of 4 true freshmen for this program. On the slide, that's dug out, and eventually a kill for Olivia Frankie.
Frankie did a good job of keeping that ball alive. That set was a little bit behind her. Didn't try and do too much with it, just kind of tip it into the middle, and she got a shank pass out of it.
Wake Forest, home opener tonight, searching for a straight set win. North Carolina A&T earned a set off Clemson in the first weekend of the year. Had a chance in set 2, and the ace will not help the cause there.
Mentioned no aces in the second set for Wake Forest, so that's the first one here in set number 3. I'm sure that's a welcome sight to Coach Smart.
So a 2-1 lead for the Demon Deacons. Slater continues to serve and almost gets a second ace.
And we get a hands call, so nice job. Actually,
a double touch, in fact.
Did call it hands. Okay. So I think what Coach Smart said in the intermission was we didn't serve hard enough in the second set. We gave them too easy as serves. Come out here in the third set serving much more aggressively.
That was a huge area for Randy Smart this spring, emphasizing the serve. As line judge calls that kill out, it's overturned by the head judge. So it's 3-2 now.
I think that's a good overturn. That ball looked into me. And I think it was a good job by the up official.
Mackenzie Richards, the senior at Pickerington, Ohio, credited for the kill. North Carolina A&T had that match in striking distance in set 2. It was 22 apiece before Wake Forest pulled away. Now the float serve here from Morgan Allen causes trouble. Allen's the backup libero back row player for this club. She did not play in the spring, but fully healthy and available this fall. Fuentes in system, goes down the middle to Frankie, her second kill of the set.
Really starting to work the middle back in is Wake Forest. We didn't hear a lot from the middles. It was mostly pin to pin with Seuss and Slater. Now here in set 3, the middle's getting a little bit more involved again.
Frankie 8 kills in her last matchup at App State. She now has 7 today and an ace for the Demon Deacons.
You're seeing that serve is a lot more aggressive here in this set.
Kalani Willock on the serve. She's 10th in the ACC in aces. 3 of Wake Forest's top servers are all in the top 10 in the conference. They've had a nice year serving. Brewer against the net, finds hands, and that tools the block for a Hannah Howell kill.
Yeah, Hannah Howell's really had a nice match. I mentioned she came in with only 18 on the season. She's got 8 tonight. So she has really been the offense, quite frankly, for A&T so far.
Feeding the pin hitters tonight for Hal Clifton's club. And now Andrea Laboy Rivera out of Cuama, Puerto Rico on the serve.
That was touched at the net, so we play on.
Play on, and another good dig by the Puerto Rican product. Roll shot, scooped up. Malloy with good hands, and it's freed over. Willock high into the air. Brewer off balance. Goes back to her top target who wins it down line. Hannah Howell with a nice start. 9 kills.
Yeah, she's got a third of her season total tonight. As you get to see another look. Wake Forest ended up having to give a free ball here because Malloy made the dig and was on the floor. There was no one to set the ball to, so they ended up having to give a free ball and give Howell that swing.
Richards goes off balance, falls into the scorer's table. In system, that is in, just touched the near line. McSweeney gets the point.
And a big point for Wake Forest. They needed to kind of end that little run that A&T was on. Yeah, got a little touch off the arm of Howell, so whether it was in or not, it definitely went off Howell's body.
Brewer goes out of system, finds her top hitter. She's denied at the net. McSweeney and Fuentes combined for the block.
Which is funny because, well, everybody looks short to McSweeney, let's be honest.
The tallest and the smallest player on the front row.
Exactly.
Nice little peanut butter jelly sandwich for Wake Forest up front. As a team, they've combined for 4 blocks. Seuss on the serve. Brewer pushes it outside, and Howell goes to hands again. That's blocked at the net, and Fuentes got all of that.
Yeah, she's saying, hey, you might be 6'7", but I can block too. Howell's got to find a shot now. She's been blocked twice in a row. She was feeling good about herself, having a match of her life, or at least of the season. And now she's got to find a shot. She's not going to be able to hit through that block. She's going to have to find a cut shot or a tip.
Brewer goes right back to Howell. The true freshman goes off hands of McSweeney. And we have a net violation on Wake Forest. So McSweeney into the net. That stops a 3-0 run.
Yeah, she's just got to keep her hands high, not press on those roll shots. You press on a...
And Delaney McSweeney, she can block a ball. 7 blocks against Kansas in a 5-set thriller.
I mean, you're 6'7", you better be able to block. Who are we kidding?
That's in the job description of being that tall.
Exactly.
Fuentes, her job's teeing it up for her hitters as Slater gets the kill. Busy start for Wake Forest. That's 11 for Slater.
I mean, if I was 6'7", I would have made money playing this game.
Think of the Olympic volleyball this year from the indoor standpoint, the Americans winning the gold. The beach game, of course, the Brazilians so strong. But when you're 6'7", it's a game changer. There's Cameron Malloy on the float serve. Brewer, who can set and swing from the outside, gets hands at the net for the point.
It's a good swing by Brewer. High hands.
She has 3 triple doubles in her career as well. Digs, assists, and kills.
Yeah, her last one was in a NCAT semifinal against Delaware State. Like I said, she's got it in her. When you set, you should get it in assists and kills almost every match. Then you just got to add the defense in.
A full rotation player is a 5th-year senior. Slater off hands, McSweeney the dump, and that was pretty.
Well, that's a little on the unfair side, but you know, when you're that big, you can just tap it straight down.
It's the old put your hand in the cookie jar type of metaphor here for the 6'7" Delaney McSweeney.
But I mean, that's what you do. I mean, if you're that tall, you don't have to hit it hard.
I'm not sure she even needed to jump for that ball
Yeah,
to get hands over net. Such a physical specimen up front as she subs out in rotation. Sautel nearly found floor, and the dump from Fuentes is scooped up. Brewer goes back row to Howell, who's right into the net of Frankie.
Frankie's done a good job blocking in this match. I think that's her 3rd block by herself.
And a timeout called by North Carolina A&T as Wake Forest makes its largest lead of set 3. The Demon Deacons search for the straight set win here in the home opener. We'll have the rest of set 3 coming up next. Welcome back to Reynolds Gymnasium. Wake Forest extending its lead in set 3 after squeaking out a set 2 victory, 25-23.
Wake Forest has gotten the offense going a little bit more in this set, back up to 500 in the set, 5 kills on 10 swings, no errors. They also have 2 service aces. This set looking more like the first set did for Wake Forest.
Wake Forest won 25-19 in the opening set. As we are cleared for service, there's been the presence of the net tonight. Delaney McSweeney with a couple of blocks in this set. Low float serve for LeBoy Rivera. Another block at the net, and Fuentes looks like she's got it.
Well, she does. That set is too close to the net. I don't know if you could see how close that ball was to the net, but when the ball's close, all the blockers got to do is get their hands to it. The ball needs to be off the net about 3 feet so that the attack, well, not quite 3 feet, 1.5 feet, so that the attacker can have room to cut the ball around the block.
Wake Forest averages 2.5 blocks per set coming in. They have 7 in this matchup. Brewer's dump is scooped up. Frankie down the pipe, touches the far line.
A&T's in the net anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, give her another kill. And Frankie having a good third set here.
Olivia Frankie, her season high is 9 kills. She's matched it tonight. Brewer looks for her options. Through the hands, and a good tool of the block for Nia Sautel.
Much needed side out by A&T. Wake Forest was in a good scoring rotation, and A&T needed to get that side out and have everybody move over a little bit.
And Everett, we've seen in this rotation, Sautel come into that outside hitting position, and Howell rotate out for him.
Frankie's not going to be happy with that when she sees that she didn't close the block.
Here's Maya Johnson, the freshman out of Austin, Texas, on the serve. Fuentes the slide. Frankie gets her point right back.
And she's now got 10 kills. So Frankie and Slater both with 10. Seuss and Malloy both with 7. We mentioned Coach Smart wants the balance. Doesn't want one player to do it all. Wants it to be a team effort. And she's got it right now with 34 kills by 3 players.
Wake Forest hitting .354 in this match. Very efficient. A&T having trouble with this serve. It's freed over by Sautel and misses long.
Yeah, she was a little aggressive with that free ball. Missed the court by a good 5 feet. That wasn't really even close.
This is a 4-1 run for Wake Forest to extend its lead. And a timeout called by the Aggies, their final of this third set.
Yeah, it might be getting away from them a little bit. That's a mistake they just didn't need to make. That should have been just a nice, easy free ball into the middle of the court, get your defense set up. Instead, she just hit it way too far.
Wake Forest searching for a 5th straight win. You see that 7-2 mark, their best in 5 years. And this was a team that won just 1 match in the spring. Granted, a different schedule with conference only, but the confidence of this group is something that Coach Randy Smart touched on a ton entering this weekend's match.
Yeah, it really is, because Wake Forest only has tonight and then Friday against Davidson, and then it's ACC play. They play for Georgia Tech, who's ranked in the top 20 or 18. There you go. And then Clemson right after that. Then it's on the road to Syracuse and Boston College. Always a difficult trip. So this is it. If you want to gain confidence, get it tonight and Friday, because then you're in conference play and you've got really good teams ahead of you. The nice thing is we get to call those next 2 against Georgia Tech and Clemson. We'll be right here bringing you all the action.
Snuggled up in our blankets and ready for some big-time ACC volleyball. Of course, Louisville, North Carolina, and Pitt in the top 3 in the preseason, so it's good to see some quality teams in Reynolds Gymnasium early. And for North Carolina A&T, they have Big South play starting at the end of September, but another critical matchup with an ACC team next week.
Yeah, they get one. This is all coming up this weekend at Virginia Tech. They're playing Wofford, George Mason, and Virginia Tech all in Blacksburg this weekend. And then they go on the road. So they're going to start Big South play on the road, Justice Center in Asheville, and then USC Upstate, one of the smallest gyms in America. So 2 very different atmospheres there.
And Everett, the Justice Center was one of your first jobs working at UNC Asheville back in the day.
You know, the old ski lodge. I love the Justice Center. It looks like a ski lodge more than a volleyball venue, but, you know, that's the way it goes.
Part of the Big South Conference. It's North Carolina A&T's first year in that league. As Brewer pushes it outside. That swing is long to the far line from Nia Sautel.
If you're looking for an ACC connection to UNC Asheville, the Justice Center is named for Choo Choo Justice, the old running back for the University of North Carolina.
And Roy Williams opened
that
the
one
Kimmel
for free.
Arena, the brand new
did.
arena in Asheville. He
He
played the
absolutely
first game in that building. So some ties in state here for these teams. They're just 45 minutes apart between Greensboro and Winston-Salem, depending on how fast you drive on the highways. Sawtelle gets the kill. That's her 8th.
Sawtelle having a good match. She was one of the players we expected to have a good match. Hitting 211, you'd like to see that a little bit higher, but her now 8 kills, second on the team.
Howell and Sawtelle leading the charge for A&T tonight. Fuentes has been busy teeing up hitters, but that's denied at the net. Strong hands by Richards.
It's just a good block by A&T. It was set well, middle closes, and nowhere for Slater to go with that.
33 assists for Fuentes. Tried to get another one there. Fuentes goes middle. Frankie's denied at the net. It's Richards again tag teaming.
It's set just a little bit too far out in front. I don't know if the set was too far out in front or if Frankie was late, but either way, she had to really reach for that and wasn't really in her arm swing.
Great dig by Willock, and it sets up a kill. That's Slater, who now has 11.
Ashley Slater having a good match. Like I said, just one little hiccup there at the start of the second set, but since then, she's really played well. And that's kind of what Coach Smart said. She said if she could eliminate just 1 or 2 errors, her percentage would be so much higher.
Slater gets 3.5 points a set as A&T responds with a point at the net. That stops a 4-1 run.
She's right on that too because she's got 11 kills in 3 sets.
It's a very balanced Wake Forest offense. McSweeney, Slater, and Malloy all with 3 kills per set. It's arguably Wake Forest's best option to have success come conference play.
No, it's not even arguable. It is. There's no question they need that balance. They need to get it from more than one player.
Ooh, on the
nice
slide.
swing by Frankie.
Busy day for Olivia Frankie.
And that's the nice thing about Andrea Fuentes is that she's able to mix it up. She knows who her hot hitters are. She knows where to put the ball. Has she been perfect tonight? Probably not. There have been a couple of sets that may have been up or down or in or out. But for the most part, she's been there. And she's making good decisions. And she's giving her attackers hittable swings.
Howell gets credit for the point on the lift that time by Wake Forest. Demon Deacons are 7 points for the match after they won the first 2 sets. Good to see Hannah Howell try to fight through some struggles in set 3. She has 11 kills on 31 attacks.
Again, came in with 18 on the season. That's what you got to remember. 18 on the season, 11 tonight. Now has 29 on the season.
Tough float service scooped out over McSweeney and finding the
swing.
kill for Malloy.
Big swing from Malloy. That's just fun to me. I love to see people just take their big swing.
That's a trampoline attack for Cameron
Malloy. I
Malloy.
think the block had come over, so it was pretty much a wide open shot down the line.
Wake Forest pulling away in set 3 thanks to Cameron Malloy hitting .375. Brewer, the dump is scooped up. That's Willock. A second chance, and Malloy puts it down.
Willock had seen that dump before. She got beat earlier in the game. That time she saw it, read it, made a nice job getting to it.
37 assists for Andrea Fuentes, who tries to reach the 40 assist mark for the 5th time this year.
And to get 40 in a 3-set match, you're spreading it out pretty well. There's another block for the Demon Deacons.
Wake Forest 4 points from the match here in set 3.
This is more sort of what we thought we would see. You've seen the strong serving, the big block for Wake Forest. Both those things have really led them to the 7-2 start. The serving and the blocking have all been good in the first 3 weeks for Wake Forest.
Substitution for North Carolina A&T. Madison Sanabria checks in, the freshman from Virginia Beach, her first action.
Yeah, only her second set of the season. She's a middle that only has taken 1 swing.
As Coach Hal Clifton goes deep into his bench tonight. There's the red-hot freshman finding the back corner. Hannah Howell with her 12th kill.
Having a really nice match. Mentioned just a freshman. She's going to start getting on the scouting report. I'm not sure she was on the scouting report leading into this match, but she'll be there now.
By the way, the record at Wake Forest for assists in a 3-set match, Aaron Borhardt of 2003 against Louisville, only 10 away from what Fuentes has tonight.
She's only got 4 points.
Now 9 away as McSweeney puts it down for the point.
Well, the problem is there aren't 9 more points to get. That's the issue.
Well,
she's going to run into
goes
it.
on a heck of a run here in this 3rd set. There's a kill for McSweeney.
Because every assist is going to be a point. There's only 3 more she can get unless you say A&T really storms back and we go into extra points.
25-19 in the first, 25-23 in a competitive 2nd set. The bump set here from Warfield is long by Brewer, and Wake Forest is 2 points from the match.
And Wake Forest is dominating the set, hitting 500 in this set. This more like the first set. The 2nd set was a little bit of a hiccup, I feel like, for Wake Forest. And I think Coach Smart, that desire to win all the time, is she's going to look at that 2nd set and go, you know what, we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit, but she's going to be happy that they picked it back up in the 3rd set.
Brewer plays it over. A&T down to its final 2 points. And Seuss with an excellent dig. There's a back row attack for Malloy, who finds the back corner.
Malloy's had a really nice match as well. That's 10 kills for her. So to get 3 players in double figures, again, it's just a 3-set match. So there aren't that many swings coming. So to get 3 players in double figures is really good team effort.
Match point for Wake Forest. Fuentes sitting on 39 assists. Oh, let her go to work. She wants 40. Malloy gives it to her as Wake Forest wins the match 25-14 in set 3.
Yeah, just a really great effort by Wake Forest here in this 3rd set. Came out with a strong serve, had a couple of early service aces. They hit 522 on the set. Just never allowed North Carolina A&T to get any flow in that set.
Dominant performance from Andrea Fuentes, leads the ACC in assists, and she adds an easy 40 in 3 sets as Wake Forest picks up its 13th win all time against A&T, a competitive 2nd set, and too much from Wake Forest tonight as they win in straight sets.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Wake Forest needs to continue to do. They need to continue to build, gather wins. They've got another match against Davidson on Friday before heading into ACC play. And Coach Smart's just trying to build the culture, trying to get that winning attitude and get her team to believe that they're going to be able to compete in the ACC.
Win number 152 for Randy Smart in her career, as Wake Forest led by a balanced hitting attack. Olivia Frank with 11, Ashley Slater 11 kills, and Cameron Malloy got the final point of the night. The Wake Forest Demon Deacons, their 5th straight win and a home opening victory over North Carolina A&T tonight. For Everett Hutto and our hardworking crew, Evan Budrovich signing off from Reynolds Gymnasium. It's Wake Forest in straight sets tonight in ACC volleyball.